It was a year ago that I started taking YouTube very seriously. And so much has happened since then that I wanted to share with you exactly how you can make money on YouTube, make more than you make even at your job potentially, and make a living by sharing something you know or something that you're interested in online. I'll also show you behind the scenes of every single step of the way, every website that I look at every day to check all of my stats, all of my metrics, open the door completely for you, because I think that's going to help you make some decisions. Okay, so let's get into it. This is my YouTube studio. This is the dashboard that YouTube shows you when you have a YouTube channel. And a lot of people have YouTube channels because they are using it to browse. You may have even uploaded some videos in the past. But let me tell you, there is a very specific way to upload, a way to film that will help you go from being a consumer, a viewer, a hobbyist, even to making a living on YouTube. That's why so many people do it. But I'll tell you something, not everyone who tries to make a living on YouTube is good at it. I've noticed that over the past year, and there are just a few things that you can learn and you can make money by uploading videos. So this dashboard tells you how many people have viewed. This number is usually lower than what it really is until you click into it. So I'll just use my very last video as an example because it was the one from yesterday. So if you click into it, it's doing really well. It is at 8.2 thousand views in the first 24 hours. That's like one of my best performing, if not my best performing video ever. There may have been one other video that did this well in the first 24 hours. And I've uploaded, let's see how many I've uploaded. I've uploaded 261 videos. And just yesterday, this one's doing well. And I had no idea it was going to do this well. I had no idea that this video versus this video would perform this way. And if you go here, if you look in the dashboard itself, it'll do this 1 out of 10, which is really cool. So some people can get addicted to this, chasing this, but I think it actually helps you. So 1 out of 10 means in the last 10 videos uploaded, this one is performing the best at this point in time after 24 hours. And you can see it's performing by quite a bit better than the last 10. Now, there have been many others who have done similar, but they just weren't in the last 10. And what I can do with this is this teaches me a bunch of stuff. Like today, I was looking at this and I was saying, I look at my stats all the time. I wonder what can tell me if something's going to do really well. Well, the impression click-through rate, meaning if YouTube shows the video thumbnail and title to 100 people, how many of those people will click through? In this case, it's an average of 7 people will click through. So what I've learned is that anything under 5% for me is not going to perform well in general. Like there's always exceptions to the rule. But in general, in those first 24 hours, if it's not doing, even in the first few minutes, to be honest with you, if it's not doing more than 5%, then it's probably not going to perform as well. But what I notice even more specifically is that if it's 7% on average or higher, it tends to do well over time. And on top of that, if the average view duration is over 7 minutes, no matter how long the video itself is, then it tends to do really well. So it's something like 8 out of the top 10. I'll show you, because you can measure this by how many views. So I looked at every single one of these top 10 Become Money. You've probably seen that video if you've been to my channel before. I looked at every single video stats, and 8 out of 10 have either more than 7% click-through rate, even today, months later, weeks later, or it has more than 7 minutes shown, no matter how long the video itself is. Or in some rare cases, like the one that's performing really well right now, it has both going for it. Now, will that last? If it gets past 20,000, 50,000 views, will people still click on it at that rate as more people are shown it? I don't know. Will people still watch for that duration? I don't know. But something like 20, I'll show you. I'll show you. So if you click into it, we get over here to engagement. I don't know, it's not ready to show engagement. So we'll go back one. We'll see if that one's ready. Engagement of my last one, which actually did really well, is doing really well. The engagement is 23.5%. That's okay. Usually this is between 23% and 33%. And then here is where it's really interesting too. It's like, what's the drop-off rate? Right. What's the drop-off rate there? And that's kind of normal because it says typical, but then it's a little lower than the retention that I have. But still, if it's over 10% at the end, I feel good about it. That's how I measure it. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, this is great, but how do you make money? Let me tell you, I was homeless 10 years ago. And I have generated millions of dollars since then, and have raised millions of dollars since then. But I have the most fun working on YouTube. So it's not the most money that I make by a long shot, but it's so fun. And it's like fun to figure this stuff out. So the way that you get monetized on YouTube, so you can do two ways you can make money on YouTube. One way is you can get monetized, meaning YouTube puts ads in front of and inside of your videos, and it pays you approximately half of what it makes by doing that. And the other way is to use YouTube as like a call to action. Like right now, I can say to you, go to arlansallAccess.com and get the free training there. And as soon as I say that, it's like verbally call to action. I might even put it on the screen if I were going to go with, another way of doing it. Some people are going to do that. And then some people may go on to buy something from me or participate in my membership or something else. And that's another way you can make money off of YouTube. You can also put that in the description. You'll see in the description here, just as an example, I have the link to Arlan's All Access. Sometimes I'll have a link to my books. If you have a book, that's a great way to get your book out there is to have a YouTube channel. But let's go back to the monetization side of things. So how do you get monetized? How do you become someone who can get paid by YouTube to upload? Well, YouTube requires that you have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000, I'm sorry, and 4,000 watch hours. And when you do that, so if you go here, if you look at the overall analytics, so I just got 9.1 thousand subscribers in the past 28 days. So it may seem like it's far out of reach, but a year ago when I started taking YouTube seriously, I had maybe 3,000 subscribers that I had built over almost a 4-year period. So from a year ago to now, I now have 88,709 subscribers. So I've gained like, 10,000 subscribers a month on average. And some months have been much higher than that. And I started getting monetized maybe 6 months ago. So it's not that hard to do once you start learning how to work with YouTube. So you get 1,000 subscribers. You can get there. Some people get there in one video. Some people, it takes a few videos or a few weeks or a few months. Once I started taking it seriously, it was like just a few weeks. Then you also need 4,000 hours of watch time. And when you hear that number, you're like, oh my God. But look at this. In the last 28 days, I've had about 28,000 watch hours. So I get about 1,000 watch hours per day now. So you just need 4,000 watch hours cumulative of people watching it. So then when you do that, you start getting paid. Now, this number is actually one of the smallest numbers of my last 28 days because this is an advanced thing that I started to do that I wanted to experiment. So I would not recommend this. I started taking ads off of my videos because I wanted to see how just the calls to action, just directly sending people to my membership and other things would work. But I tried that for about a month and a half, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. So what I wanted to do, so right now, for instance, it says like on Sunday, I made $158 just by uploading. $158. And this is like weekend, every day, something. Look at these numbers, right? I made these numbers. And that's really great. But check this out. Check this out. So there's nothing, 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 nothing for all this time. Nothing, 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 because I was not monetized. February, I started getting monetized. So I started making like 10 bucks a day, and it was like amazing. But look where I have been, where I've soared in the 200s. And then I've gone up to the 300s and the 500s. And even one time I was like, I don't know if I can make it happen, 700. And the reason that happened is because in the 300 days, so this is like 10,000 a month if it's an average of 300 something, right? So the reason it started going lower in October and November is because I started taking away some of the ads because I wanted to say, oh, okay, I'm not going to try to make more money on YouTube. But if I kept it, I would have. So let's do this. Let me show you, let's say September. September, I made $6,186 by uploading. You see this kind of averages each day. So every day I upload. You don't have to upload every day. I just enjoy doing that. You can upload once a week. You can upload once a month. Once you start learning how to upload on YouTube and exactly what you're supposed to film and all of that, you will figure out your rhythm, what makes sense to you. And let's see if we can show, I'll show you August. August was a crazy month. $12,000 in August. That's when everything exploded. Well, that's when I figured stuff out. Like I started taking YouTube very seriously in November of 2023. And I said, I spent a whole weekend, like a 3-day weekend, right in this holiday space. And I just watched tens of hours, like maybe 30, 40 hours of YouTube in that time, maybe even more. And I just started thinking about what could it unlock? And I didn't know exactly how to do it. I just knew that I needed to figure that out. And then I spent a lot of money at the beginning of the year, like learning things and hiring people to do things. And what I realized was that I actually didn't need all of those people, although they helped me. They certainly helped me and they taught me some things. I didn't need to keep them forever because I could take what I learned and then have my own vibe to it and my own learnings and instincts about who my audience is, how I like to present, all of that. And I stripped away everything. And I just said, let me just get on Zoom and just teach. And that's when things exploded in August. So that's what I want to get back to. Like I would love to make 8,000 to 12,000 a month, if not more, on YouTube monetization alone. That's $100,000 a year plus. I love that. But think about, could you make $5,000 a month on YouTube by uploading? I want to go over to ChatGPT so we can see how do we decide what to make our YouTube channel about. Your decision should be based on your interests, believe me, because you don't want to start a channel where you don't want to work on it all year. Like it's like, don't do it just because it makes more money, because you will not have fun doing it. Therefore, you will stop doing it. Therefore, you won't make any money. But there are some niches, meaning some topics that have different values of what they pay. So what, and I should say I'm an investor in ChatGPT. I have to say that for disclaimer, but I highly recommend that you get ChatGPT if you don't have it. Use the Chat 4.0 version. As of now, could get better over time. What what are the top 10 niches for YouTube monetization? Let's see what it says. And you can ask it something similar to this. Okay, finance and investing seems to be the top. And that's what I talk about. I talk about entrepreneurship. It was just number 5. I talk about investing sometimes. I talk a little bit about finance, but usually it's just about entrepreneurship, making money. The second one is digital marketing. So marketing, educational content in general, and technology reviews, health and fitness. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let's just say you're starting from scratch. And these are just to give you some ideas. I want you to start writing things down, just start thinking through and maybe put in the comments what you would have your YouTube channel about if you could, or what yours is currently about. And a lot of times people will want to put things about like their life or their thoughts about things, or they're turning it into a kind of a blog, but a vlog, right? And I think that that is good, but I want to caution you against making the channel just kind of your journal. Because if you want to make money with the channel, which you can decide not to, you don't have to make money with your YouTube channel. You can just put your voice out into the world, and that's really beautiful. Please do that. But if you want to make money on YouTube, you should decide, how can you help someone? How can you help and add value to someone's day? If they're going to choose to spend time with you, how can you help them? Now, if you're still with me, I want you to type the words spend time with you or add value, whichever one of the two you want to add in the comments, because I want you to think about how can you add value to your YouTube channel, to the people watching. So let's just say technology reviews. There are thousands of channels about technology reviews, but guess what? There are hundreds of millions of people who look at YouTube every day. So even though there are thousands of channels about technology reviews, you still have a space there, especially if you have a certain way that you talk, a certain way that you think of things, a certain way that you present the technology, a certain angle, anything creative. So what, if you think about it, this is just an example, but think about, you could do unboxing videos where you get new technology, you unbox it, you use it, you talk about it. Now, this is if you have that interest and you're kind of good at that, please do this. You talk about it, and then not only is it the fourth here, just kind of based on what ChatGPT is saying, the fourth highest CPMs, a cost per mil, meaning how much YouTube is paid per 1,000 views, and then your RPM is how much you are paid per 1,000 views. So you'll get about half of this. Not only is it a high niche for monetization, but you could conceivably have a link or two in your description that links people to buy this item that you have reviewed in a very balanced way. And when they use your link, you get paid a percentage in commission as an affiliate. So imagine once a week you do some unboxing. Not only do you get to unbox it, but you get to have that item. And maybe you start to gift them or give them away if you have too many. But you take an item, let's say it costs $100. You have a thumbnail and a title, and it's like, the best mics for under $100, or the best, unboxing the Q4 2000, whatever. And then you unbox it and you show how it's going to look, because I can't tell you how many times I've looked online to see how something unboxes before I buy it, to see how to use it. You might even go further and say, this is how you use it. It may not even have to be a physical item. You could teach someone how to use some software. Like the most basic things you could teach people without even showing your face if you didn't want to. Just go do what I'm doing, share screen on Loom or Zoom, and show people, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. Upload your videos, and over time, people will start to look at it. And there's different ways you can get people to look at it. I teach that at arlansallaccess.com. I teach you all about how to get people to look at your videos, how to get more people to stay and watch your videos for longer, and do exactly what I've done, which is make thousands of dollars a month after learning these things. Health and fitness is another one. Real estate. Imagine, okay, if you are a real estate agent and you do not have a YouTube channel or an Instagram or something, you have to think about that. If you are a real estate agent, you can do something very specific and say, in Dallas, Texas, $2 million home preview or review, whatever. And then you walk them through the home. Walk us through your home. So you're going to have thousands of people who watch it, or hundreds of people who watch it, who are not in Dallas or who could not afford it, even if they are. But you're going to have 5 people who watch it, who live in Dallas and who can't afford it. And now they've seen the tour and they didn't even have to come to you. So something that you can showcase is really interesting, not only for the monetization on YouTube, which is a great bonus, but for just selling the house. Travel, you could go travel somewhere and show people, okay, this is what this hotel is like. This is what this food is like. This is what you want to do when you're a tourist. You want to go here and here, but avoid these spots. And then you have people, and if you have an angle to it, like, how to, I think there's one here. I don't think I have it right away, but if you have an angle to it, it's like, these are just some examples. Like this woman, Sunny, she has made so much money selling courses, but she's also made a ton of money monetizing her YouTube channel about selling courses, right? Ashley Nicole, she talks about all kinds of things when it comes to entrepreneurship, really great, interesting videos, really high quality. Colin uses his to talk about sales from 0 to 210 subscribers. She's just telling how she got a subscriber and now she has 20 people watching. Like that's crazy, right? This guy, I watch him because he talks all about marketing. He has 1.5 thousand views and probably more than that because it doesn't show you updated in 3 hours. This is Aaliyah is a singer who I love. She has a great song that I love, and she uses hers to. It's her birthday today. That's awesome. So she uses hers to get her music out there. She gets millions of views on her music, so she gets monetized that way as an extra income stream for her music. And then she talks about certain things that she wants to talk about. So it's just really, really interesting that I lost my dream life from six-figure business owner to working a 9 to 5, but she has 200,000 views on that. So she is going to be okay. She's going to be all right. Now, let me tell you, when it comes to making money, not just through monetization on YouTube. So this is my membership, arlansAllAccess.com. Go to it, check it out. If you go to the settings, I'm going to show you right now some of the money that has been paid out. So right now I have a $16,000 balance. Part of that's going to be paid out in a day. The rest will be paid out next week. I get paid every week from it. Look at this. This is straight up. You can just look at it yourself. Look at this. Had a $17,000 week, had a $9,000 week last week, 6,000, 5,000, 9,000. This is recurring revenue. A lot of this, not all of it, but some of this is recurring revenue. So I make tens of thousands of dollars from my membership. And from this, if you look right now under this video, you'll see a link to my free training, which then teaches you more about my membership. And some people will join it. It's like all meta, because inside of my membership, I teach you how, among other things, I teach you exactly how the exact blueprint for YouTube success. This exact blueprint, monetization on YouTube, right? So you could actually pause that and get a little bit of that, but focus on massive value. And this is very in-depth, long-term planning, my case study analysis, exactly how to launch on YouTube, valuable deep dives. I go in. I also teach a bunch of other stuff. We also have another YouTube expert who teaches everything. She has 22 million plus views. She has live masterclasses every single week about YouTube, right? So that is incredible. And that's not the only amount of money that I have made from YouTube. I have made much more than that I'm not even showing you, because I said a year ago, let me take this seriously. Something clicked. And I was just like, let me take this more seriously. Let's look at something together here. Becoming money. I made this video on August 12th, so 3 months ago. I had no idea it was going to do better than anyone other. So look at this. Let's look at since published. So the first day it got 3,300 views. So I was like, there's something's happening here. And then it got more, and then it got more, but it was kind of like steadily going down. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, it goes up by 12,000 views almost. And then it just goes up by 22,000 views the next day. And it just keeps going up and up. And now it has 380,000 as of now. It has made $7,200. This one video has made me $7,000 in 3 months. It's one video. In the last 48 hours, it's continued to get 1,500 views. And the reason it continues to get views is because I continue to post and people are drawn in. And there's little things you can do to make people watch more than one video. And if people watch more than one video, YouTube sends you out even more, right? So it's just really interesting. When you come to this one has 280,000 views. The first day got 4,200. Now the other one that's doing really well had twice this amount. So I can't even imagine Maybe it'll do really well. I don't know. I don't want to bank on that because you never know. But look at this. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's made $4,645. One video. Since when? In the last 3 months. Since August 2nd. We'll do another one. This one's from May. This one has made $4,400. Let's see, this one has made $1,500. Now, this one is probably one that I didn't have monetized even as much. Right? But this was just 79 days ago. And still getting 870 views every 2 days. And if you go here here, I had 27,000 views in the last 2 days. And thank you so much for being somebody who's watching my videos. You know, this is how many views I got. Yesterday, the November 18th, I had 14,000 views. This tells you how many viewers you have. So every day I get, this is like a low day. So this is like 9,000 people on Sunday because it was the weekend. Fewer than that, 8,000 on Saturday. Oh, boo-hoo. But look before that, 9,500 last week on Friday. 10,500 people. And look who are new viewers. So a lot of times people will say, well, Arlan, you already have an audience and people know you and you've done this and you have 2 books. People are finding me from scratch because of the YouTube algorithm and because I've put in the work. That means that you can do it too. So in the comments, write, I can do this too. I can do this too. If you're still with me and you know that you can create something. I'll tell you what happens. People watch videos like this and they get inspired and they get ready and they want to do it, but then they just stop and they don't do it. Or they upload one video and it doesn't do any well, it has 2 views if at all. And they're like, oh, you have to be persistent. You have to be consistent. You have to follow through. I gave mine a full year of this. Now I'm going into the next year and I'm like, what will happen next? I'm going to reach 100,000 subscribers. I will reach 100,000 subscribers by New Year's Day, 2025. So what will happen the rest of the year in 2025 if I keep going? Because right now, this is exciting. This is interesting. I've made 6 figures on YouTube. But what if that's just the beginning? What if this video is like, oh, that's cute? What if? We will never know unless I keep going. And you will never know if you can get to $5,000 a month on YouTube with a combination of monetization that takes you a few days, weeks, or months to get to, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, plus anything that you sell from that. Anything, any item, any book, any product, course, membership, one-on-one coaching, event, CPG product, your own company. Listen, you do not have to start a brand new company. In fact, so if you already have a company, you don't have to start a new one. But in fact, the company you have now, you can get that in front of so many more people. And so many more people where it's specific to what you are looking for. And you'll have some trial and error. Some of it will work, some of it won't. But it will all be worth it if you combine the efforts. So you have a company right now, or you're trying to get your company off of the ground. YouTube is a major, major hack to getting in front of more customers and getting in front of more people who over time will appreciate what you're doing. Another thing you should know is that when people watch my videos, like if you're watching this for the first time, like let me know in the comments, are you here for the first time? Is it the first time you've ever heard of me? Or is this like, a video from another video you've watched of mine? Either way, when I put a video up and I say, go check out my link, there are some people who will immediately purchase. And that's great. That's awesome. Love that. But most people will go look at it and now they're aware. And then they'll see another video the next day or the next week, and they'll watch that video, and then they will be reminded of the link and the offer, and they'll go back and they'll say, okay, cool. And then it may take weeks or even a couple of months before they come back and say, actually, I think I'm ready for that. I think it makes sense. I've watched this other video and this made this other thing click. I'm ready. And then they'll come into my membership, arlansallaccess.com, so you can check it out. If for no other reason but to see how I do it. They come in, you get an automated email when you join, and it says, one of the questions it asks is, how did you find me? And I say, if you found me on YouTube, tell me which video. So what that does is every single day, I get messages from people who have come into arlansallaccess.com, and they tell me, I found you 6 weeks ago. I watched several of your videos. I bought your book, and now I'm here. Or they'll tell me, I just found you this morning, and I'm here, and I'm ready. But either way, they're telling me exactly how they found me, and 90% or more are telling me it's from YouTube. I used to go out, I travel the country all the time. I go speak, I have all kinds of things. You know, sometimes I have a book that I'm helping to launch. Like I wrote the foreword to this book, Trudy LeBron's, forward by Arlan. So sometimes I'll go and help people with their book launches. Pick up that book if you want. And people will say, oh, I know you from this. I know you from your venture fund. I know you from your books. I know you from this. People will say that all the time. Now, the last 6 months, no, not even 6 months, the last 3 months that I was out on the road, more people came up to me and said, I know you from YouTube than any other statement. I've had 10 years almost to build up my profile in venture capital and in entrepreneurship. And most of it has come from social media and my books and being on other people's podcasts or helping somebody, adding value to their life. In the last 3 months, I've had the same amount of people say, I found you on YouTube as in 10 years everywhere else. Think about that for a second. What will another year bring? What could it bring you? What could the next 3 months look like for you on YouTube? And if you stick it out, what could a year bring you? Oh my goodness, a year from watching this, please come back and tell me if it helped you. Tell me if it helped you today, make a decision, and please come back and tell me if it helped you in a year, or come up to me and tell me, or reach out, because man, you can do it. You can make $5,000 a month on YouTube easily.